Hello, I'm Ilene Wood, and this is an episode of Bag Lunch. This is a continuation of yesterday's program. Today's show is about little black bags. Yesterday we discussed contemporary little black bags. Today we're going to talk about vintage little black bags. The one I'm holding in my lap is one of my favorites. In fact, they're all my favorites. But this one in particular is done by a company called Jerry Moss Holiday. And this bag is a combination of leather and alligator. And the detail that I find most intriguing is the handle, which is a Mobius strip. So it's a very unusual and special bag. It's easy and fun to carry, and I think it really makes a tremendous statement. This next bag is also by Jerry Moss Holiday. And what you might notice by considering the last bag and this one is that Jerry Moss was known for doing serious, somber, beautifully executed leather bags, but they all had a twist. They had a special detail, a sense of originality and humor. Now, I know you've seen many top handle bags, but I doubt you've ever seen one with a handle shaped like this. And this is twisted gold metal, and in a more typical bag, this would just be a little arc shape on the top. But this one starts at this side and curves. It almost looks like a lasso. But this is a beautiful bag, and what makes it additionally unusual and special is its shape. It's almost an exaggerated north-south, which in the industry is a term that means a bag that goes up and down taller than it goes sideways. If the bag was wider sideways, it would be called an east-west, but this is a north-south. And this bag has an exaggerated form that is a classic shape, but done a little bit differently to make it special. This is a bag from a company called Empress, which I'd never heard of before. I found this bag because I loved the detail of the round cutout window with a tapestry. Now, this bag was probably a more mass market bag of its time. These are all bags from the 60s, I might add. But this bag in particular is made out of vinyl. So going back to what I've described earlier as the democratization of fashion, this is a bag that is a more affordable and accessible version of high-priced bags that would have been made very similarly, but with a better quality tapestry and out of leather. But this bag, in the way it's designed, really has a great look, despite it being a very humble materials. This is a bag from a famous designer from the 50s and 60s whose name was Roberta de Camerino. Now, please excuse the condition of this bag. Sometimes when I find a bag that is really special, I will overlook condition just to have an example in my collection. And what's really special about this bag is it has a typical frame bag, covered frame bag shape, which was often done by Roberta de Camerino. And the shape and the size and the style of the bag, and even the closure that turns with this little fob, was something she did quite frequently. But what makes this bag different and special is that it's woven out of leather strips. So it almost reads like a wicker bag or a straw bag, but it's all made out of leather. Additionally, Roberta de Camerino was popular first in the 60s, but had another moment back in the early 2000s when it was reintroduced at stores like Barney's. This is a bag done by Harry Rosenfeld. Rosenfeld is one of my very favorite companies and designers from the 1950s and 60s. In fact, from even earlier than that. Their bags span, I'd say, the 1930s up until the very late 60s, early 70s. And this particular bag looks like a birthday present. It looks like a gift. And they were known for doing box bags and simple frame bags that featured fanciful designs, often out of brass, applied to the front. So this is a really gorgeous, simple bag that would really spark up any outfit. The final bag today is one of my very favorites, one of my major very favorites in my collection. And this is a bag I had wanted for a very long time and finally found an example. It's a bag that it is a bag that I sometimes call a unicorn because it's a bag that you've seen in pictures or in museums, but you've never encountered in real life. And fortunately, one day while scrolling the internet, I found one up for sale. And in fact, I was super fortunate because I actually found two. I found this bag and I found the same bag done in black suede. This is a bag that was done by a designer named Richard Corrette. And it was a bag that celebrated the clothing industry. And that is because the frame looks like a pair of dressmaker scissors and the clasp is a thimble. And I just found it to be remarkably unique and special. And Richard Corrette was known for another iconic bag of which I have examples in my collection, and that is the safety pin bag. We'll look at that another day. But this is one of my truly favorite bags. It's very rare. It's very special. I never wear it. I simply keep it out in my library to look at it. But these are beautiful bags that are vintage, that are little black bags, much like little black dresses, and each of them has a detail that makes them special and really creates the outfit. So thank you for joining us for today's Bag Lunch. We look forward to seeing you next time.